Hello!
Ooh.
We're back, and Maria's never done a movie review.
No, I was too emotionally scarred by the last one.
Yeah. The only review I've done was for Coco, and for some reason, that's our most successful video. It may be because I cried quite a lot in it. I'm not sure. Maybe my reviews are just great. We'll see. But yes, today we are reviewing Captain Marvel. Yes! It's very exciting. We went to see it last night.
So many things to say really about it. We both really enjoyed it. We don't really get why there's some negative press around it. We both thought the film and all the actors were really good, so...
No, I had a friend text me literally this morning kind of saying, oh, it's had bad write-ups and people aren't accepting Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. And I'm like, don't know why, because I loved it. And I genuinely did. I think it's one of my favourite ones I've seen in quite a while, actually. So, yes, let's get started. We've got basically 6 main points we're going to work our way through.
Yeah, so the first point literally is the first thing that happened and made us both cry.
We both cried.
So, you know when it's doing like the intro and the Marvel Studio sign comes up and it shows clips of Iron Man and parts from all the different films.
From like, and it used to be that they showed parts of the comics, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, they've changed all of that to all of Stan Lee's cameos. And then it had a little message.
Did it say thank you, Stan?
Yeah. And we both like, oh, so such a nice little touch.
Yeah. To have. Just the fact that they had that at the beginning, that on its own was lovely. Stan Lee was actually still in this.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was a really nice moment because I teared up at that point as well.
Yeah, because she smiles at him.
Yeah, it was really lovely. He didn't really say much, he was kind of muttering to himself, but that was enough. That was just a really nice touch. We will warn you, by the way, if we're saying spoilers. I think that Stan Lee was in it is not a massive spoiler.
No, but there will be spoilers.
There will be spoilers. I don't think this is a spoiler. But if you don't know anything about it, I don't know, maybe you don't want to listen.
So we went into this not really knowing anything about it.
No.
And then, so we didn't know when it was set, whether it was modern or anything like that. Turns out it's set in the 90s.
Yes. And the first thing so the way I realised when it was set, because I was trying to work out, you know, in the chronological order where she lies within, like, Captain America and, you know, the current Avengers and all that stuff. So this is a spoiler, she lands in, oh my goodness, what's it called?
Blockbusters.
So obviously Blockbusters now, they are, I mean, I think most of them
bankrupt.
They're completely bankrupt.
Yeah.
None of them are open. Whether they're still like shells of shops around, probably. So my first kind of thing was, wait, is this a real shop? And then I clocked the poster of Babe on the wall, and I was like, you're in the 90s.
Yeah, and then when she gets up and walks around Blockbuster, she's picking up videos and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you see good old Nick Fury.
Oh,
and he's a lot younger.
He is a lot
They've
younger.
done that well.
Yeah, and the music is all kind of 90s. This, compared to other Marvel films, had more of a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe in terms of music, because the songs, like, you notice the songs more.
Yeah, because they had like TLC and stuff like
and
that.
I was like straight away to Maria, gonna download that soundtrack because I think it's a good one. It's fun.
Yeah.
So quite a different era to have it in, and obviously we're both 90s people.
And the fact that it was set in the 90s made me think quite a lot about how is this going to feed into the current storyline with Infinity War and stuff like that, because clearly this is over 20 years later.
Yeah.
And so is she going to be older in this, or is she like, she has a friend who has a daughter, her daughter's going to be in her 30s and stuff like that. So that's things I was thinking about.
The questions. So again, this is a massive spoiler, please do not listen if you have not seen it. As it was all kind of flowing along nicely, it was all going pretty well. The Krees were fighting the Skrulls, scrolls. I'm not very good at talking. It was all going nicely, and then boom, twist, and we found out that actually the Krees were
the bad ones
by Ronan.
Yeah, so we get a peek into it a bit earlier on, because whoever Jude Law's character is gets a call from Ronan, but he's kind of lying to him, so you don't know quite whether he's protecting the Krees from Ronan's complete impact, or whether it's not. But he's a bad boy.
Yeah, he was bad.
Because you see that and you automatically think Ronan is a bad guy. He's bad guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. He is a bad person. But how much...
You weren't sure because of the way Jude Law kind of told him, no, we'll deal with it, and kind of lied saying they were lost. So then when he turns out to be bad as well, you're like, ooh, boy.
Ooh, Judy.
Why you make such bad decisions? Make good choices, please, Jude. Obviously, as Maria just said, we saw Nick Fury back in the 90s. He's a young lad. He's a lot smilier.
Oh, he's a completely different personality. But it's quite nice because through his character, you kind of see the beginnings of all, because they're still in S.H.I.E.L.D., him and Coulson R.I.P. But they didn't believe in aliens, they didn't believe in shapeshifters or anything like that. So because of all of this, he then at the end comes up with the initiative.
Yes. I think just the way he was, it gave him a lot more backstory and a lot more kind of... He normally comes into your modern day Avengers and like he's all serious and we got a lot more humour. I mean, he did what we would do over a cat, like he was completely taken by Goose the cat and fussing over him. We found out about his eye, as Maria was just gesturing, and the fact that he's telling people it was like, it's from this whole battle with the Krees and all that stuff, but actually it's a cat scratch, so that's quite hilarious. I think it just gave him a lot of good lines and likability.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually really explained why he decided to put together the Avengers Initiative. Once you get to the end and is typing up this document, and then he looks at this photo of Captain Marvel and it says on the aeroplane Avenger, and he changes it, I was like, damn son!
The whole film kind of comes up with like loads of things that you didn't realise you needed an explanation for, but it kind of just explains it.
No, like the actual title
of the comics.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, I have to admit, they were referring to her as Marvel for ages, and I hadn't clicked until Fury said it in his American kind of Marvel, and then he's like, I was like, oh my gosh, Marvel! And I was like, oh, that's where the whole name has come from. This original source who basically they were after, what was her name in the film? Wendy Lawson then is actually a Kree, and she was trying to stop the wars, and I feel like this is all feeding towards Endgame. It's all channeling that way. We've got someone, Marvel, who is wanting to end all wars. We've got Thanos destroying people. We've got Captain Marvel discovered as like one of the most powerful heroes.
Yeah, because she even scared Ronan. And then he was like, oh, I want to come back and get that girl.
Yeah, he wants her as a weapon, so we'll see what happens there. So I think it just is all tying in really, really nicely. So this is all very exciting because we've got just over a month until Endgame anyway, so the timing is quite like, it's all going to be kind of like up in the air, and then we've got Endgame and we'll see what happens. But also the timing of this has turned out perfectly because we've just had International Women's Day. Oh my goodness. The main thing you take from this film is an absolute sense of girl power.
Yeah. She
is inspirational.
Yeah.
The way the film did some of the little bits in the film. So there's, again, spoiler. I think this whole video is spoilers, to be honest. there's a moment where she is stood outside in a car park and a guy in a motorbike comes along and goes like, oh hey, give me a smile, and when she doesn't, he's like, freak. How often does that actually happen in everyday life? When our pal Jude Law is like really belittling at the end and go on, I'm so proud of you, prove yourself to me. It's like, I don't need to prove myself to you. And when she says it, I was just like, yes. And
there's so many bits, like, as a female watching it, there's so many moments that happen to her, or like flashbacks. So when she's training for not RAF but the American Air Force or whatever, and they were like, oh, you're too emotional, you won't be able to do this with your emotions. The amount of times people tell me that I'm too emotional, I'm like, don't tell me that. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Emotion is not a downfall.
And that actually turns out to be her, that gives her the actual power and strength at the end. But there's also things like, oh, you're doing this, you're going too fast, you're doing too much.
Yeah, look after yourself. You because like they weren't saying that to the boys.
No.
You're going too fast because you're a girl. And it's those moments, there was a bit where it flashed back to her human life and she was falling over when she was on like the race course, when she was like climbing things, when she was at the beach and stuff. And then they had the bit where she gets back up and I was like, yes. Like, it was just so empowering to see that, you know what, ignore those people who feel they have to put you down because you're a female. You can do whatever you want. Get yourself back up and you can bloomin' do it.
A massive relief that there's finally a female main character on Marvel. Like, great Black Widow and the Red Witch and whatever. Like, but they're minor characters. Now there's a film after a woman. Like, DC did this ages ago with Wonder Woman, and that was good. I hate DC though. But finally Marvel have actually caught up and it was better.
Oh yeah. And no need for a female superhero who's then going to be like, oh, and I now need to find myself a superhero man.
No mention of romance at all.
Not needed. So we were sat with some, you know, as you do, just sit next to people in the cinema, and I was talking to the guy next to me, and that was the first thing he said. He loved that this was a lead female and there was no need to mention like romance or anything. And I was like, yes, you said it. So if you haven't seen it yet,
go see it.
You shouldn't have watched our video because now you know basically a lot that's gone on. I would literally watch it again now.
Yeah, I would.
So I really enjoyed it. It's made
and we'd probably notice a lot of things that we didn't pick up the first time. There's probably things that you're like, oh, you didn't mention this.
Yeah.
But
let us know if you've seen it. Let us know what you took from it, if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, like, obviously there's a number of people out there who haven't liked it. So let us know why you didn't like it. And as if you're a female out there or a male and left feeling empowered, let us know, because I think that was really the main thing I took from it. I walked out thinking, yeah, I may not be a superhero, but I feel pretty powerful even though. But still, look, I just opened the door. You didn't see it, but it happened. You proud? Okay, bye. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
See you soon.